Hi everyone, it's Valerie from Eartherella Soap and Candle Company. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. Thought I'd have a little fun with this. If you saw my video about a week or so ago, I did a soap called Nutty Pumpkin Waffles, and I used a cookie cutter to cut out my pumpkins. So what I have left, and this is cold processed soap, what I have left is when I cut out my pumpkins, I had these little squares with the pumpkin cutouts in the center. So I kept them, and I've been thinking about what I could do with them. So today I'm going to, I'll show you a sketch of the soap I'm going to be making. So my soap is going to have a clear center. This part is this, and it's going to have a clear center. It's going to have a yellow, background all the way around. And the yellow is going to have brown, green, and orange swirls. And then on top I'm going to have different colored leaves on the top. I did make some melt and pour leaves like these, but I'm not sure if I want to use them or if I just want to try piping on some cold processed leaves. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that yet, but this is the overall design of what I want the soap to look like. So I have my my pumpkin cutouts in my slab mold, and I have my crystal clear soap melt and pour soap base. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this up into chunks and put this in my container and melt my my clear melt and pour soap in the microwave. And then I'm going to fill each cavity with my clear melt and pour, because I want the insides to be just completely clear. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll be back. Alright, so I have my clear melt and pour that's all melted, and I'm just going to fill in the cavities. Alright, so my my clear melt and pour has dried, and I'm just cutting around, and I knew that it would leak around my, as you can see, it's see how it like leaked out of the pumpkin, out of the inside. I knew that was going to happen. That's why I lined it with paper, and I'm just cutting off the excess because I'm going to use this to kind of glue them together to make one long piece. So right now I'm just trimming them and getting off any excess. I'm putting them in a little cup here. But you can see how it's all clear in the center. So I'm going to just continue doing this until I have them all completed. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these together in my mold, in a different mold that I have. I'm going to put them together like this so they're all stacked together, and then I'm going to pour some melt and pour around them, because when I go to pour my batter, my yellow batter, I don't want it to seep in between. So I kind of want it to look like little pumpkin windows. So this is going to take several different steps, but it'll be worth it in the end, I'm hoping. So I'm just going to cut them and trim them until I'm done with this step. Okay, so I have my two very small silicone lined molds, my loaf molds, and what I'm going to do is I have my, this is all of the scrap pieces that I cut off when I trimmed my pumpkin squares. So I'm going to melt this in the microwave, and then I'm going to pour a thin layer in each of these, and then I'm going to set them up so they're side by side like this. And I'm going to, and the reason I'm using this mold is because this one fits pretty good. I may have to trim the sides on a couple of them, but I'm going to put them in there really snug, as snug as I can get them. And then I'm going to pour my the remainder of my clear melt and pour around it, to keep, like I said, to keep my yellow batter from seeping in between the little pumpkin windows. So I'm going to go ahead and melt my scrap pieces. Okay, I have my melt and pour that's all melted, and I'm just going to pour this in between all of the layers. And then this one, I only have 4 in there, so I'm going to have to prop this one up after I'm done pouring it. Okay, so my melt and pour has cooled and dried, and so this is ready to be unmolded. I already unmolded the little one I had, and it's completely sealed with the clear melt and pour, so you can see how that's going to look inside of the soap. It is going to have like a clear pumpkin window in the center of it. I also made these. I had these were also from my Nutty Pumpkin Waffle soap that I made, and I had extras of these. And I am going to add these at the end of my soap inside of my large mold, because I need 18 inches. My mold is 18 inches and I only have about 13 inches here. So I needed like another 5 inches. So I'm going to just be at the last few bars in the back of the soap is not going to have the pumpkin window, but it's just going to have a pumpkin in the center. So I put all these together, and I put some melt and pour in between each layer so they'll all stick together. And then I'm just gonna unmold this one. Alright, so that is the one piece. It's now completely encased in the clear melt pour. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to melt just a little bit of the melt and pour and stick these two together, so it'll be one large piece. And then at the end of the soap I will have these pumpkins. So right now I'm going to just put a little melt and pour in between these two to keep them together, and then I'm ready to start making the soap. Okay, I think I may actually be ready to start making the soap now, finally. There were a lot of steps in this one. Alright, so I have my melted oils and butters and my lye water. Alright, I'm going to pour my lye water solution into my oils, and I'm just going to mix until a light trace. Alright, and I'm going to pour in my fragrance oil. The fragrance I'm using today is Autumn Day, and this is by Crafter's Choice, which I get from Wholesale Supplies Plus. I have it pre-measured. And it smells so good. So much like falling leaves and just fall. I just love it. So I'm going to pour this into 3 containers. I'm going to leave some in the large container as well, but these are going to be my accent colors. And the colors I'm using today is, for the big container here, my background color, it's going to be the Golden Pineapple Yellow. And for this color I'm using Siesta Sunset Orange Mica. For my green, I'm using Martini Olive Green Mica. And for the third accent color, I'm using Bronze Brown, and this is by Nurture Soap. This is also a mica. Start mixing them lightest to darkest. Alright, so I'm going to do an in the pot swirl. So I'm going to pour these into my pot, into my large container, in different areas. This one I'm putting in this corner. I'm not going to pour all of it because I need some for my leaves on top that I'm going to be piping. going to pour my batter into the mold. Put a little bit at the bottom. Okay, now that I have a layer in the bottom, I'm going to put my pumpkins in. Make sure I have them in the right way. I'm going to push it in, and it's going to push all the batter up to the top. Okay, so originally I was just going to pipe some leaves on top, but the colors are just so beautiful. I think I'm going to go ahead and pipe just some frosting on top of the soap. Alright, I think that's good. I'm just going to spray it with some rubbing alcohol. And I will be back tomorrow for the cut. Alright, it's the next day and it's time to unmold and cut this soap. I'm dying to see what it looks like on the inside. Okay, so here's the final cut of my Autumn Day soaps with the pumpkin cutouts. Most of them do have the pumpkin windows. And then I had 4 bars in the back of the loaf that have just the solid pumpkin in the center. I am really glad they turned out the way they did. I am relieved. I really love the windows, and I will show you how it looks in the light. You can see right through the soap. And so I do wish my pumpkins had turned out a little bit straighter, but I got them as straight as I could, so I'm happy with how they turned out. And I'm really glad that I decided to pipe my leaves instead of using melt and pour embeds, because I really, really love how the tops turned out. They're just very colorful, so pretty. So I am really happy with how these turned out. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it and would like to see more, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching.